Hi, my name's Greg Powell, and my topic today is graduate anxiety. The reason I chose that topic, I'm president of Five Plan Partners, and my clients have been asking me, as well as their children graduating from college or trade school, as to, hey, our worlds have changed dramatically here. I had a game plan. I was going to graduate from college or from trade school and enter the workforce. And today, I don't know what that workforce looks like. I am really concerned. I'm very anxious. Well, I'm here today to address a couple of things with you. Number one, to just talk about things you can implement as a graduate, which will enable you to make yourself present and available and get your name out to those employers that you may want to work for. Number two, from the standpoint to give you the rules and fundamentals that you need to be able to move forward to implement a game plan. And number three, just to let you know that you're not the first generation that's ever come out of college and had something going on in the economy that you thought, wow, these are huge obstacles. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. I'll pick on myself, for example, graduating in 1981. I came into an economy that had the Iran hostage crisis. Banks were closing. We had just gone through double-digit interest rates, 78, 79, 80, and 81. Mortgage rates were at double-digit, 19%. It was unheard of. The morale of the country was really bad. And guess what? As I'm walking through the door of these companies to interview at the age of 22, those people who had been in the industry for some time were walking out, patting me on the shoulder and saying, "Good luck, kid." Well, here I am 30 plus years later, and I am president of Five Plan Partners, and I own a financial planning wealth management firm, which has enabled me to go through a lot of economic cycles and hold clients' hands as they've seen changes in their jobs and careers and their businesses. I also want to say this to you as a college graduate or trade school graduate. You need to understand that on this vlog today, I am going to give you the same information I have to give to people in their 40s and 50, 60-year-olds as they understand as their companies are bought out, restructured, they're laid off, all the things that take place throughout your life and your career. And if you understand this information now at the age of 22 or in your early 20s, you're going to be light years ahead of people that are right there as your peers trying to figure out the rules of the game. It's very important that you understand the fundamentals and how you need to develop yourself. Mark Twain said, "The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them at all." So the point I want to make to you is learning never stops. And today I want to give you tips and points that you'll be able to implement. Now, you also need to know from the standpoint, I have a book called Better, Richer, Fuller that I give to my clients to read, to understand how they can build a financial house in order to be able to put it on a solid foundation and to be able to accumulate the wealth and career path and take care of those loved ones in your life. I also have Powell's Laws, which I want to share with you. Rule number one in Powell's Law, money doesn't give you confidence as quickly as confidence gives you money. Confidence is the key moving forward. And I'm going to ask you a very important question now. Name all the different brands of toothpaste you can think of off the top of your head this very moment. Most people name between 1 and 5. What I do know is that when I say the word toothpaste, you don't see the word. You don't see a plain tube of toothpaste. You actually see the brand name on the toothpaste that you probably use or some that you know other people use. The point I want to make is that toothpaste company has gotten on your mental shelf space to see to it that when you hear the word toothpaste, you understand that that is the brand that you should be buying. I want you to do the same thing with your name and with your life. You now, as a graduate, need to become a brand. You need to market yourself. You need to know how to do that. Get the word out about your talents and your abilities. And I'm going to walk you through that as well. First of all, this is an innovative time, a unique time in history that you can sit there and lament, oh, this is horrible, I'm not going to be able to find a job. But those who take initiative, who develop a plan, having a plan in place, will be the ones that will be able to move forward, and they will see doors open up for them for a career path. So Greg, how do I become, a brand within myself? First and foremost, you need to follow your passion. Don't change that. You went to college for a reason. Stick with your passion. Number two, keep reading, keep learning about that passion, because every day you want to be the best you can be at what you do. Number three is that you want to sit down and list what your strengths are and to continue to improve on your resume. You still could continue to take online courses. You still have technology that you carry around with you every day. This is an unbelievable time with you, and the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to have. You also need to implement PR. Now, when I say PR, most people respond with public relations. But the reality is, I tell college graduates and graduates heading to trade school, the PR stands for practice, rehearse. Practice your questions, practice your interview, practice being able to do it online in this age of social distancing. Be able to interact with people. So often people want to walk into the interview process giving statement. The reality of it is you need to be asking more questions than the statements you make. Tell me about the values of the company. Tell me why you've remained here so long. How long have people worked here before? What, in terms of the job opportunities and career path I could have here, what's the training that you provide? How can I read or find additional information to learn more about your company? You need to be on their website. Another point I also want to make is that if you can find out who the owner of the company is, the chairman of the board, the president, the head of HR, the head of the division where you want to work, you need to write letters to each of them. Excuse me, did I say email it? You can email, but the reality is a handwritten letter, a handwritten note goes a long way. I have given this advice for years to college grads and told them to do that, to create a marketing plan in which they're communicating on a regular basis with the company that they want to work for, and to communicate not just with the person they interview with, but also with the leadership of that company, saying, I am interested in working at your company because of the values that you have, because of the focus that you have, because I am passionate about what you do. So these are points that you need to put together all in a package. Practice, rehearse, and understand that the objective is that when they have an opening at their company, that they will immediately think of you, just like the tube of toothpaste. They will say, we had this person interviewing, they have these skills, your face comes up in which they go, that's the quality of person that we need. And be ready to tell your story and your values and what's important to you and what you want to achieve in your 3-year and 5-year plan. Let them understand that there's a purpose here and that with that passion, you're committed to seeing to it that you achieve that. And you also need to understand this. Your first job out of college may not be your ideal job, but it may be one of the greatest learning experiences that you could ever have. I'm a big Disney fan because Disney filed bankruptcy and then went to his wife to tell her that he had come up with another idea. He was going to build a company around a mouse. And his wife said, really? Well, what's the mouse going to be named? And he said, Mortimer. And she said, well, I don't like that name. And he said, what would you name the mouse? And she said, Mickey. And that's how Mickey got his name. It was also Walt Disney, having gone through that bankruptcy, that made the statement, all the adversity I've had in my life, all my troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. The point is, you can interpret what's taking place right now as a kick in the gut, a kick in the teeth, but the reality of it is, it may be one of the greatest opportunities ever if you look at it in a whole different perspective. And that ties into rule number 2 in Powell's laws. There is no magic formula. Only your attitude, beliefs, and knowledge can move you forward. And that's what it's going to take. You need to view your brand, that you're the CEO of your brand. It's your life. You've worked hard to get to this point. Now take charge and move forward, understanding that hard work, attitude, and beliefs can pay off, and have confidence in doing it as you move forward. And if you continue to practice and rehearse your game plan, it becomes a part of you. And people see that it's very natural and it's what you believe in. Powell's Law number 3, no one can enjoy success or fulfillment without touching the lives of others. The point I want to make to you here is that as I went through my interview process when I was coming out of college, I didn't have the luxury of keeping up with everybody through my social media and also all the files I could keep on my phone and my laptop. I kept sets of index cards. And whenever I saw an article or something that related to a person that I interviewed with, I would send it to them and just say, thought of you. I would have a handwritten note on there. Here's my point to you today. You have this incredible ability to search the topics of a company or the product that they have, where they're getting praise or innovation or an article about competition or how technology is changing the whole industry. And you can help others. That's why I said to ask the question, how can I help you? But you can also communicate with them by sending those people the same information that you're looking at to show them that you're very active in wanting to know about what changes are occurring, how the company or the industry is changing, and that you could be an innovator within their company moving forward. I need to tell you this for this reason. Some of those same people, including the gentleman who hired me for my very first job in the investment industry, today are clients of mine. Who would have thought that? They met me at age 22, and then later as I got full steam ahead in my career, they became clients. The point I'm also making is relationships matter, and who you connect with and how you keep in touch with them, how you call them, email them, text them. All of those kind of things make a huge difference, and you may give them some insight because you're a constant learner. You're looking at ways that they've never thought of before, and that also enhances your brand, your name, so that when they're thinking about who to hire, they're looking at you. Let's just talk about anxieties right now. I have a process that's called the ASK process, A-S-K, anxiety, strengths, and knowledge. You need to be asking questions of yourself that will help you understand these are the anxieties I'm facing, these are the strengths that I can provide, and what knowledge do I need to enhance my strengths and eliminate my anxieties. I like to say from the standpoint that anxieties are worry with anticipation. You're worrying about how am I going to start this game plan? I'm going to give you some ideas in just a few minutes. You're worrying about how am I going to get this job? Well, list all those anxieties down, study them, and then look at the strengths that can help eliminate them. What are your talents? What are you really passionate about? And then the third thing is knowledge. Knowledge can come in so many different ways. You have the ability to get on the internet, to listen to podcasts, to read on websites or read books, download on Kindle or others to read online. But in addition to that, what relationships do you have connections with? Here's my challenge to you. Have you contacted the alumni department of your university and asked them who else is in the industry you're wanting to get into? Have you contacted your alumni department to say, what alums are in the city I want to locate to? I've given that same advice for years, and they've been introduced to alums who may not be in their industry, but help them get acquainted with that city and make connections. If you're moving back home and with your parents or going back to the city you're from, there's a good chance that your family has a CPA that may be doing their taxes. That CPA has a lot of business owners that possibly they could introduce you to. There's also people in the same profession you want to get into that are in associations. Right now you say, Greg, they're not having meetings. My point to you is contact them anyway. See if they're doing video conferencing. See if they're having different meetings. Introduce yourself. I can assure you they're looking for new members as we speak. Let them guide you as to how to network, and maybe you can introduce them to some technology because your enthusiasm and your passion inspires them to want to keep things moving. And also know this, is that at some point here, the coronavirus will be taken care of. We as America will come up with innovative drugs and other ways to address this, and this too shall pass. But in that time period, you've got the opportunity to show your leadership and your ability to step out and lead the way. And we want to see that because you're the future leaders of business. You're the future leaders of careers. You're the future leaders of your community. And there's not a better time to learn than now. Age doesn't matter. Powell's Law number 4, it's okay to have a latte. Used to, years ago, when I was in college, I would read the morning newspaper and find out who the successful people in finance were in our community. And I would call them and just introduce myself. Hello, my name is Greg Powell, and I'm going to be a graduating senior at my university, and I'm interested in what you do for a living, and I wonder if you could take 15 to 20 minutes to just educate me on the good, the bad, and the ugly. Guess what? No one ever turned me down. I think today, with people looking at their lives in different perspectives, many people would be more than happy to have a brief FaceTime or Zoom conference with you for 15, 20 minutes to tell you that. Because when I majored in finance, I could have gone into real estate, I could have gone into banking, I chose portfolio strategies and financial planning, but there's numerous ways I could use my degree. And by talking to these different people, I was able to figure out, this is my passion. I want to make a difference in people's lives, and I can do that by managing their money and helping them with their financial blueprints. The point I want to make is opportunity is out there. Don't allow yourself to be a financial victim or to be dependent on anyone. Take charge. Create your own economy. This is your opportunity that you've worked hard for to take charge. I always say you're only as big as the world you create. The more you network, the more you brand yourselves. Use social media. Get your own website. Have your own business cards printed. Have a virtual card on your cell phone that you can send to people. I constantly ask college grads who contact me, they'll say, can I continue talking with you? And I'll say, well, do you have a virtual card? Send it to me and I will send you my information. I'm always amazed how many of them don't have that. So there's all these extra things that you can do, and don't have the expectation that people are just going to open the door. You need to knock on that door and to walk through there with a story to tell, and that you're going to take charge. And when I say create your own economy, the point I want to make is that it's up to you, and you can do this. And don't let this crisis, this pandemic, define you. You take charge and use your marketing plans, your branding, to see to it that you look back on this as one of the greatest opportunities that you've ever had. We are all in this together, and the more we help each other become successful and see a future ahead, the more we'll make a difference in each other's lives. And if you also would like a copy of my book, Better, Richer, Fuller, you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the different online bookstores. And in addition to that, within the book is Powell's Laws, if you'd like to know all 11 laws and how it can apply to you. And I want to emphasize this, it's not about selling the book. I never dreamed I would be an author, but I had people say to me, Greg, the information you've provided, I want this in a book form I can continue to read, review, and share with others. And congratulations, you may not be walking in a graduation ceremony as of yet, but you just need to know that in our eyes, you've achieved a lot. And this country is behind you, and we want you in that workforce to become highly successful, because you're going to have a great story to tell.